Hello, so we are at Dorney Lake, so we can give you this pre-race brief that has to be online. I'm James Shipley from Active Training World.
I'm Jack from Run Through.
Yeah, so we have two organisers for this event. Obviously, this day and age, we now have to do things a bit differently. So normally we'd be doing your race brief at the event and giving you all the instructions. But in order to do that, you normally get a big gathering of people that all sort of gather around and listen to the rules and regulations that you need to follow, and that is exactly what we're trying to avoid. So we can do it online, so you need to make sure you've watched this video before your event starts on September the 12th. Okay, so we're going to do a little bit of a run through, excuse the pun, of your event today, where you can park up, register and all that sort of stuff, so you'll know exactly what you're doing when you turn up. So you can follow me over this way. So the car park is actually behind me in this far corner, and then this huge field area behind us is where we're going to do the registration. So there is so much room and so much space to socially distance over here. We will have some portable toilets up at the top end of the field for you to use. What we're going to do there is we're going to put out a table with some hand sanitizers and wipes and things. What we'd like you to do is to use the hand sanitizers before you go into the toilets, and then use the hand sanitizers and stuff afterwards as well. When you turn up at registration, you will need to have completed your health questionnaire as well, so you'll be sent a link to that, so make sure you've filled that in advance. We want to try and avoid as many people having to fill that questionnaire in at the event as absolutely possible. If you are bringing any spectators, and I really want to emphasize that this is something we want to avoid. Obviously, the more people that we have at the event, the more the risk of spreading COVID-19 will be. So we don't want spectators to come, but if you do need to bring a driver or a carer or something like that, then they will need to fill out the questionnaire as well in order to be able to be used the facilities on site. Okay, so once you've registered, the sprint distance will be so obviously we haven't set up a whole transition area for you in advance just to show you the video, so you'll have to use your imaginations a little bit. But this area just in front of the lake here, all of this area, big huge area here, is going to be your transition area. Okay, so you'll enter the transition area in this top corner just near the boathouse. The sprint athletes will be racking in the rows nearest to the boathouse. What we'd like you to do, just to try and speed this up so that we don't have loads of people gathering in the transition areas, where the whole registration fields are, just start gathering all your bits and pieces, so it's almost like you're just dropping your stuff down rather than being in the transition or in a normal triathlon where you can take your time and put all your stuff on the back of your neck to stop rashes and all that sort of stuff. So try and do as much of that sort of thing in the registration area as you can, so that when you come in to rack your bike, you're literally just racking your bike, putting your running shoes down, doing your bits and pieces, and then leaving the transition area as soon as you can. Okay, so you'll rack your bikes here, and then this is where things get a little bit different. So a normal triathlon, obviously we'd get you all in the water at the same time, you do a big mass start and things will be nice and easy. We're changing the format now, so it's a bit more like a pool-based triathlon. Racked your bike, we're going to bring you to a holding area. So the holding area is completely the opposite side to registration, so you do need to make sure you've brought everything with you. So anything you bring into the registration area, you'll drop your bag and your bike and everything into the transition area. So don't leave any belongings over there by the registration, make sure you've got everything with you. And then we've got these two little field sections over here. So the first one over here on our right is going to be your holding area. We're going to have some more portable toilets over this end for you as well. And then what we'll do is one of our marshals will gather you in groups of say 20 and bring you over to the field opposite. And then after that, when it's your turn to swim, you're going to start lining up by the lake entrance just over here. Okay, so the way we've ordered it, so that the fastest swimmer is going to go off first in the water, and it's a single lap. That way there really shouldn't be any overtaking in the swim. Obviously there might be a little bit, but as you can see behind me, it's a pretty big lake, so you really don't need to be swimming too close to anybody. You've got so much room out in the water that overtaking really shouldn't be a problem if you have to do it. So you'll come down onto this part here. So what will happen is you'll all be given a race number. So the timer will be putting your race number into the timing system, and when you'll enter the water, and then when the starter says go, the timer will start your race time from there. So we don't have pre-assigned times or anything like that, but that's how you'll capture your chip time for the start. We'll set you off in about 20-second intervals, so you will have just a few seconds, unfortunately, just to acclimatise to the water before you start. And the course is going to be a very, very simple course. You go straight down the lake. It's probably going to be about 350 metres. You cut across the lake and then you swim back down the other side. So it's just a very, very simple rectangle. Okay, so now we're going to, once you're out of the water, you're actually going to be the far end of the transition area again. So you have to follow us along over this way again. Or just run through a couple of bits to do in the water. If you do get into any problems whatsoever on the water, what we want you to do is just lie on your back and put one arm in the air, and that will signal one of the kayakers that will be out in the water to come over and just make sure everything is okay. Okay, so I won't show you exactly where you exit the lake, but it is in the far, just because it's right over the other side, it is the far end of the lake. And then what you'll do is you're going to run up this part of the transition area, and it will just be in the corner over here somewhere will be your swim in entrance point, and then the diagonal corner opposite is where your bike in and out is going to be. So you have to do the full length of the transition area to come out, and you'll see there's just a car that we've purposely placed just so you can see where the bike in and out is. And this is going to be an important part actually, because we do have a no overtaking zone, so I will need to show you this bit in advance. Okay, once you leave this area here, we still want you to be on foot on your bike at this point. Okay, so you're not allowed to get on your bike until you've reached the mount line. So the mount line will be here. Okay, and then we're going to follow this area around the outside. So from this point where the mount line is a no overtaking zone. You're not allowed to overtake any cyclists, or you will be given a time penalty. Okay, so this takes you all the way around this path. Let's see if we can get it to follow around until you can see the Olympic Bridge in the background just over there, and that is the start of the bike lap. Okay, so if you're doing the sprint, you're going to complete 4 laps. If you're doing the standard distance, you're going to complete 8 laps of the course, and then you come back along this path again. So once you've completed your set number of laps, again it's a no overtaking zone from where the Olympic Bridge is once you finish the number of laps until you get to the dismount line again. So you won't be able to overtake any competitors, or again you'll be given a time penalty. Once you're back in the transition area, we want you to make sure you've put your bike back on the rack before you take your cycling helmet off. Oh, and incidentally, that you need to do that the other way round as well. So once you have finished your swim and you're going out on the course, you make sure you've got your helmet on and secured before you touch your bike. It's one of the golden rules of triathlon. Okay, so you finished your bike, you've racked it. The run out point is going to be where you swam in. So just next to there, that is going to be your run out area. You're then going to run 2.5k around the lake. You almost get to I think you get to the top of the lake. There'll be a turnaround point, come all the way back, and that will bring you back on 5k. If you're doing the standard distance, you're then going to go another 2.5k and another 2.5k back. You're going to finish your run near where you registered first thing, and then we're going to hold you there. So the sprint distance athletes, we're going to hold you there for a few minutes, so probably till, I think it's going to be around about sort of 8:15, 20:08, but that'll all be detailed in the race info. And then from then you'll be able to come back into the transition area to pick up your bike. And when you leave, we're going to exit you somewhere near the boathouse side, and then you're going to leave walking behind the boathouse and then back to the car park, and where we want you to leave as soon as possible. We do obviously want you all to come along, but we do need you to go as soon as you possibly can as well. Standard distance athletes, you're going to be registering a little bit later. The transition area will actually be closed for you until around about 8 AM. The reason for this is we're going to get the vast majority of the sprint swims over before we allow you to rack your bikes. So it will be detailed in the race info, but somewhere between 8 and 8:20 is where we want you to be able to rack your bikes. So again, we want you to get all of your bits and pieces sorted in the registration area to try and speed that process up. And again, the standard distance will then be taken to the holding area, then taken to the swim start section where you'll be able to begin your race. Okay, so things will be a little bit different, we do understand that, but hopefully it's all clear of what you need to do. The race information will be super detailed, so anything that I might have missed, it will be included in there. If you do have any questions, feel free to fire them over to us. We'll put this link on Facebook so you can ask any questions there, and we'll do our very best to answer them for you. So yeah, we're looking forward to seeing you on the 12th of September. So goodbye from me,
guys.
And see you from Jack. Cheers.